Alright guys, here we are again, back with like the baby dwarf, dwarf pomegranate.
Yep.
That he actually grew in South Carolina on the porch.
Yep.
And I've always actually wanted it, but he forgot to bring it the first time that I was actually out. There's the plant itself, there you go. And it produced, how many fruit did you get for the first season, right?
Oh my gosh, 4? Was it 3 or 4, I think is what it was.
Like plant, like a fruit that big on a little plant like this on the porch. Yeah, it's a great start.
That's badass.
He forgot to bring this up anyways, the first time that we met, and I was kind of upset. But now that it's kind of rotten, I plucked it off the tree, and we picked it up. So maybe it still could be possibly good on the inside.
Well, the seed should be good regardless, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And that's how nature does it. Them seed pods fall to the ground.
Oh, wow, that's really pink.
Yeah, that's
really pink.
well, it's starting to deteriorate.
It looks a
on the
little...
inside. I wouldn't eat them, but...
Yeah,
oh, you got some sprouting. Look at that. You see that?
Yeah.
They're already growing on the inside, man.
I don't know.
Can you get that?
So, this is dwarf pomegranate that are already starting to go, which is pretty cool. I don't even know what to do right now. What would you recommend? Should I... So I don't even know what to do with these. What would you recommend to, because they're already starting to break down and I don't want to put them in my mouth to...
No, I wouldn't eat those. If they were that bright, shiny red like they are.
Yeah.
The cold and stuff is probably starting to get it to...
Ferment.
Yeah.
Break down.
When we get a paper towel or something, we'll put them suckers on a paper towel.
All right. You're going to harvest this.
I'm going to harvest that.
For me. Because you're gonna teach me how to take a basically like the fruit that already started to ferment on its own and break down and start to sprout already. What's the safest way to get these so I can plant them later?
Really? I'd put them in water.
Right in water?
I'd put them in water, but I mean, napkins so that way you probably don't make a big mess of them. I mean, I did that with my pomegranates at first, my seeds that I saved. The ones that I didn't actually, it was kind of rotten. The last one was kind of rotten, and I just put them in water, and was over time. It's a lot like the tomato seeds. The best way, you can take tomato seeds, open them up, put them on a paper towel or a paper plate, and then let the seeds dry out. But they stick to the plate. You'll get little pieces of paper with them and whatnot. The best way to store or to save tomato seeds is you actually cut them open, you put them in like a little baby jar or even a mason jar. You know, you got big tomatoes, put it all in a mason jar and let that stuff ferment. Let it ferment for like about 4 or 5, almost a week probably. And then you just, you rinse it all out. You can actually run them through a strainer, like a pasta strainer, and get all the mush and everything out of there. And then when you let the seeds dry out, then they're actually, you can see the little fuzziness on the seeds. They're not sticky. They don't have sugar on them. They won't rot. None of that stuff. It's the best way. That's what I learned that from rareseeds.com. He did a video on his seeds and everything. He said the best way to do it is fermenting the seeds. So I had to look into that. So
am I putting them in like a little glass jar, close it off, or just keep it like open, top off, like
you can
in
close
a mirror or like in a basement?
Yeah, you can close them. You can put them on a counter, you know, near a windowsill or something like that. It might get too hot in a windowsill, but
yeah. So okay, so
I just left mine in the kitchen counter in like a little bowl with water, or you could put it on top of the refrigerator and come back a week later or something like that.
All right, cool. Well, this is the dwarf pomegranate and the Galapagos tomato. Hopefully, I got some success, and hopefully, I can do a future video and be like, dude, it's working. Look at it.
Yeah.
And save these guys because what's so special about these ones?
Oh God.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, they. I bought the seeds from Tradewinds Fruit probably about 4 years ago, and they don't carry the original variety of Galapagos Island tomatoes anymore. They only carry a red pear variety that when you do the research on the Galapagos Island tomato, they don't mention the red pear really as much as they do the yellow. The real true Galapagos Island tomato is a very small cherry tomato, or actually a grape, well, I'd consider it to be more of a wild grape tomato. And they're a golden yellow, and they've got a brown marble to them, like a dark orange. And they're resistant to almost everything. They are drought tolerant, cold tolerant. You don't need to trellis them. They're a wild tomato that's used to growing wild, and you can just basically plant them and let them go and not worry about it. Now the cool thing is about this is when these tomatoes get ripe, they fall off the plant. They actually fall off the tomato plant when they're ripe. And if you waited for your big beefsteaks to get nice and ripe and fall, they'll never fall off the plant because the stem's about as big as your finger. You know, it'll be rotten by the time it fell off. So it's these are more of a natural tomato to grow. This is a wild tomato. I think wild, not just Galapagos tomato. There's like the coyote tomato, and there's a lot of wild tomatoes that are from the southwest United States, you know, even Mexico and into South America and stuff. There are some really good varieties of tomatoes that don't need you to take care of them. They don't need your fertilizer, they don't need your water, they don't need your trellis, they don't need none of that. They just need some dirt, sunlight, and whatever nature's going to give them. And I think that's the best thing to grow.
Then I agree, because then you have to worry about most of the stuff that you're seeing with most of these, like these other plants that are like, oh, you're starting to get canker or something, and then it just spreads throughout all of them. So,
yeah, plant them Galapagos tomatoes and a bunch of wildflowers. You'll never have a problem with nothing. You throw wildflowers in your mix in your gardens. Just throw the seeds out in your gardens and stuff, and let the wildflowers come up regardless. Don't worry about them taking nutrients out of the soil, because actually they're actually going to be putting nutrients into the soil. They'll actually be taking stuff from the atmosphere or up from the ground. Some have really deep root systems, and they'll pull that nutrients up from the ground. And a lot of them are perennials. You know, you've got things like echinacea and you know, wild sunflowers, and there's all different kinds. You know, I'm not even gonna get into that too much, but wildflowers are some of the best things for creating a biodiverse garden that has good pests and bad pests. But you're attracting more bees, more pollinators, more spiders, more praying mantis, and it gives your plants a natural environment to grow in versus a sterile, dead, lifeless, tilled soil, over fertilized, toxic system. I'm ranting now.
no, that's all right. All right, so we'll try these seeds out. If you like the video, just like, subscribe, put a comment underneath, and hopefully I can get some updated videos about this. Thanks.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, bud. You want to eat some wood sorrel?
Yeah, sure.
Lemony, bro. That's wood sorrel. It's got a lemony flavor to it. Really good stuff. Got permaculture layers in your containers. Isn't that good?
Mm-hmm. Get that nice little cake ready.
Citrusy, limey. Okay. I got a piece of dirt. Look ahead.
I got a piece of dirt.